What is up, everyone? I'm coming on here for a couple of plays for today. Overall, before I get into the picks, I do want to reemphasize that we have not had a good week whatsoever, guys. We've actually had one of our worst weeks we've had in quite a while. We've gone down about 30 units this week. It has not been pretty, and I hate having weeks like this, right? It obviously sucks, right? I really I want to win every day. I want to win every week. Some weeks you're going to get a little bit slaughtered, and you kind of got to go back and lick your wounds a little bit, and that's really how this week has been. Now, as you guys will see, we are, still up on the year, which is good. We are now only up a measly 5 units on the year in 2026 so far, which obviously sucks, guys. I hate to see that. We are up on straight bets about probably like 25, 26 units still. So all in all, about 30 units on the year. It's still pretty rough, I'm not going to lie. I'd like to be up 100 units plus by now at this point this year, but we got to build back up. This is how sports betting is. When I started this channel, I wanted to be as transparent as possible, and I've tried and think I've successfully done that over the past years that I've had this channel. And again, this is a story of how to be profitable sports betting. Sometimes you're going to have weeks like this. Sometimes you're going to have months like this, and all I can do is document it, be transparent as possible, and show you guys the strategy that I use to win long term. If you guys do not know, we have generated about 900 to 1,000 units so far on this channel and on my VIP over the past 2 years using a strategy called correlation. Again, I'm very open and honest about sometimes this strategy. You're going to find hard times because a lot of four-mans are played with correlation. You will see that here's an entry that actually lost with correlation, right? Take the overs. The overs end up hitting because they end up winning together. This is another entry with an example of that. These guys end up playing the game and they end up losing the game, so that's why they go under together. And then here is kind of an example of that. We have this guy end up winning the game. That's why he gets 8 kills. This guy ends up DMPing. I don't know why he DMP'd. And then this guy, Kana, right here, this is probably the toughest beat of the day. This would have been a nice little 5x for us or something like that. But Kana ends up getting 9 kills in the second map. Okay, so he had 2 kills in the first map, so he was right around here. So it looked really good to go ahead and hit. They were losing that second game, and then they come back and win pretty much off the back of Kana, right? So Kana pretty much carries them to a victory, and he gets 9 kills in that second map, which sucks because that did end up not hit that slip, right? So really, PrizePicks has been pretty rough. You'll see here's the pick of the day yesterday. We were right about Maxi, not right about Wagler. We do go ahead and hit the discount of the day on Sleeper. Now, nothing really to brag about here. We need Adesanya to get 1 punch, and obviously he's going to do that. And then Jalen Green, I did talk about a little bit. That was my favorite play of the day. He gets 11 points in the first quarter, and that's nice to see there. So we do go ahead and cash that for a 3x. And then we had a couple of cashes throughout the day on Underdog as well. We've had so many just one out of ones, right? We've had a lot of 1 hit, 1 loss, 1 hit, 1 loss. We've probably had like upwards of 15 of those in a row almost, it felt like, until some of these finally started hitting the past 24 hours. And then if you just went back a week or two ago, we had like so many cashes on Underdog. It was honestly insane. Like here was a day that we had this was like around the middle of March here, and we had all of these plays hit right here. This is like, we went 9 out of 9 or something like that on a run. So again, that's how sports betting is going to be, guys. You're going to have crazy runs. You're going to have crazy bad runs. And it's really interesting how that ends up happening because I've done this long enough to kind of see the ups and downs, and I've been through bad streaks, great streaks, probably upwards of 50 times now on either end, whether it's a bad streak, whether it's a good streak, a bad streak, a good streak. It is insane how streaky sports betting is. Sometimes you feel super down in the dumps. Nothing is going to hit. You feel like nothing is ever going to hit again. And then sometimes you're on top of the world where it feels like everything you touch is hitting. And it's really, really weird, actually. It's probably one of the weirdest things that I've ever, experienced with something like this, because it feels like you should be a lot more like, it should be a lot more consistent, but it's really not. It's one of the most inconsistent things ever. Again, we do normally make money here. We still have made money so far this year, but we're gonna have to do a big bounce back, right? And I'm completely down for that. I mean, you gotta stay positive in times like these, and I'm ready to bounce back. I'm ready to absolutely crush it going into these next couple of months, into the summer especially. We have Canadian football gonna be coming up in May, but right now I'm focused on, of course, the end of March, and then I'm focused really on April and just absolutely crushing as much as I can in April. And you have all my focus, all my attention to do that. And let's see what we can do. Let's try to have 100 unit month this next month. shoot for the stars. The good thing is, guys, we have had times on this channel one day where we have gone up 45 plus units. All right. So our biggest days have been 40 plus units, 50 plus units. We've done that in one day alone before. So when things do start catching fire, they can hit fire very, very fast. Normally what does happen is you might have like 220 unit days back to back. And, again, those are the days that you definitely want to be tailing the bets when those do happen. And it erases a lot of losses when you have days like that. Okay. So again, can't guarantee anything, but I do have a track record of winning. We'll see if we can continue doing that so far, and over the next couple of months as well. I do have a pretty strong confidence that we will be able to, especially once things start to kind of even out as well. So this is the first play of the day, guys. It's on ONYX odds. I'm taking a pretty simple one here. It's a Duke money line. I think Duke has a really good shot of winning the title. I think Duke or Arizona is going to be the ones who ends up winning March Madness. I would probably lean Arizona if you guys do want to take a futures bet on Arizona. Or what I would do, honestly, instead of taking a futures bet, is if you do have a high conviction of a team winning, is I would just take their money line every week, honestly. I think you're going to probably end up making more money over the long term if you just take money line every single week. Like if you think Arizona's going to win, just every single time that they play, just take money line, and you'll probably end up winning more. Duke, for example, you could do that as well. So this is going to be the play of the day on ONYX odds, and hopefully you guys can go ahead and tail this. ONYX odds is available in like 40 plus states, guys, and you will get $100 in free picks for getting ONYX odds, and you'll get 1 free month of the VIP. So again, 1 month of the VIP, and then you'll get a free $100 bill handed to you pretty much to bet with on ONYX odds. So that is obviously something to take advantage of if you have not taken advantage of that yet. The second play of the day is going to be on Underdog. I do also want to say very briefly, Sleeper was something that we did hit on. They've had a ton of free entries, and I've actually seen 2 $10 free protected picks in the next like 24 hours. They expire tomorrow or something like that. So Sleeper's been doing great with the different promos they've been sending out. They sent out 3.5 discounts in a row, and then they've also sent out 2 $10 protected plays. And again, what I would recommend with those protected plays, I'll probably send something out, but shoot for the moon, right? Try to get like a $200, $300 like 5-man or 6-man or something cooked up with that $10, because it's a free $10. Just go around and put it on some stuff that you think is going to hit. And if you do hit that 5x or that 6x, that can be amazing, right? You might only hit one of those every like couple of months, but when you do, you'll get like $300, $200, something like that, like a 20x, and that would obviously be very, very nice to have with a completely free entry right there on Sleeper. So Sleeper is another app to sign up with, guys. I work very closely with Sleeper. I really like their app. I really like what they're doing. They push the boundaries a lot of times of sports betting, and you guys can go ahead and text me Sleeper to get 2 months free of the VIP. My number is up here on the screen, guys. You guys can text me about anything. Text me to get signed up for these apps, and I'll get you signed up, okay? Second play of the day is on Underdog Fantasy. We are taking a esports play, and we are taking JVZ to go under 23.5 kills, and then we're taking Lash a little bit later in the day to go under 31.5 kills. Pretty simple there. I've been pretty vocal about Underdog. Starting this month, we were on absolute fire, and I think actually some people ended up getting limited on Underdog, which sucks. And then we've been taking a ton of Underdog entries for one reason alone, because they're 3.5x's, okay? 3.5x is the best odds in the business. You need to be betting 2-mans on Underdog if you can get anything down, and that's just the fact of the matter, right? 3.5x is going to be better than the 3x that PrizePicks is going to pay you. So definitely bet on Underdog. The past week hasn't been good really for anything, but with Underdog, I can almost guarantee that you'll make money long term. You don't even have to take my picks. You can take my picks, not take my picks, but like 3.5x is so easy to make money long term on Underdog Fantasy because of the payouts that they have now, and they really just started that the end of last month. Okay, so that is going to be the second play of the day, and then the third play of the day, along with a bonus pick, is going to be Braylon Mullins on UConn, and then SGA to go under 6.5 assists. Running through these real quick, guys, we have Brandon Mullins on UConn. He is now facing Duke. Duke is like a top 5 defense. You'll see here they're third toughest in points allowed, and I'm taking him under 11.5 points. So if you want to look over his last 15 games or his last 20 games or whatever it is, he has not hit this very many times. The only times he has hit this is against some weaker defenses when he shot very, very well. Shot like 17 times this game, 15 times this game, and he still didn't even get this. But yeah, pretty much you'll see the times that he really has hit this is he either shoots 14 times or 17 times. And in this game, it looks like he probably just made a lot of threes or something. Actually, I have no idea. It looks like he went 5 of 5 from the free throw line there. But if he does play kind of a middle of the road game and he ends up getting like maybe 7-9 shots, something like that, he'll probably end up making maybe 3 or 4 of them, and he'll go under at about 8 or 9 or something like that. And then on top, the cherry on top is that he's playing, well, the top 3 hardest defense, actually the number 1 hardest defense over the last 15 games. Okay, so pretty much the number 1 defense in the country is Duke, and he's probably going to struggle against the number 1 defense in the country. That's at least what I'd put my money on right there. So unless he has some insane game where he's just like hitting a ton of threes or getting to the line a ton, I do not think he's going to hit this line. So that is Brandon Mullins. The second play was SGA under assists, and we're going to take him under 6.5 assists in this game. You will see that, you know, it's not as pretty of a line, but sometimes these things just work out, and these are just plays that I do really like. You'll see that the Knicks are pretty good against assists for their position, so they're 8th against assists. They also have a very solid defense, pretty much like top 5 to top 8, and this is a really solid line for SGA here. And then maybe one of my favorite picks of the day, which is going to be a bonus entry here. What I want to say is you can either sub in SGA or Cam Johnson, and then this game's happening earlier in the day with Brandon Mullins. So if you're watching this later in the day, let's say by maybe like the late afternoon or something, Brandon Mullins probably already tipped off, so you can just sub in Cameron Johnson right there for Brandon Mullins and take this as a 2-man with SGA and Cam Johnson. Really solid pick here with Cam Johnson, guys. If we look over his last 10 games, he's been crushing this line, and he is facing a pretty solid defense right here, but I think that this line is too low for him here. You'll see he's consistently hitting pretty much like 14-ish points, something like that. Let's see what he's averaging. He's averaging 15.1 over his last 10 games, and he's been super efficient or just consistent, I guess you could say, from the field goals made thing, which is exactly what you want to see when you're betting on someone's points. You want to see them be super consistent. So he gets about 8 to 10 shots a game, and he's maybe making about 6 to 7 of them a game. So that's great to see there. He's very consistent. He doesn't need to do anything too flashy to get these points. And yeah, this is going to be the third kind of pick right there on Prize Picks for the day. So bonus pick, Cam Johnson, Mullins under, SGA under, and then we do have this play on Counter-Strike, and then we have this play right here on ONYX odds, which is Duke money line. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for the support. I know it has been a rough journey, guys. If there's anyone who knows it's been rough, it is me. I want these plays to hit so much, because that's what my credibility comes from, really, is hitting plays, being profitable. That's what I build this, channel and business off of, is being transparent, being profitable over a long time horizon, and being up only like 5 to 10 units over, 3 months or whatever it is now is just not good enough. It's straight up not good enough. So I understand that. So we'll bounce back. We always do. By the end of the year, whatever it is, we'll be laughing this off, and we'll probably be up, multiple hundreds of units. So we'll see how that goes, of course. All I can do is stay consistent, bet how I know how to bet, use the strategies that I know how to use and that have been profitable over 24, 28 months, whatever it is. And yeah, but again, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.